Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let's start with 7.30. To 7.19 is about surrendering to Krishna. The practical application for this. Okay, so we'll see the kinds of people who surrender, who doesn't surrender now later on. So 7.13 says, Vipirgunamaye bhaver evi sarvam idam jagat idam na vijanati mamhemya paramapyam. Polluted by the three modes of passion and ignorance. The whole world does not know about the system. So the previous section, Lord Krishna explained about his spiritual nature and the material energies. So he speaks about material energy. It's not fine now. The voice is still breaking. Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, it's breaking.
What about others?
Yeah, it is breaking, Mataji.
Not clear, Mataji.
Now when you ask,
Breaking, Mataji. It's not clear.
This is breaking, Mataji.
It's okay. It's fine now, no? Better?
Yes, Mataji, slightly better.
Somewhat better, Mataji.
Okay. So here, Krishna is later Shloka he explained about the spiritual and material energies. Now he is explaining about himself. Okay, about this. Krishna will now explain the importance of taking a shelter, along with those who do and do not shake the shelter. There's different types of people who surrender, who doesn't surrender. And practical application is knowledge about Krishna should lead us to surrender to Krishna. The ignorance of the spreaders caused due to attachment of material energy is an obstacle to the surrender. So why do people not realize Krishna as the essence? Because they are deluded by the three modes of material nature. Means to identify oneself with a particular type of mode and this type of psychological and biological activities, like to identify oneself based on varna, nation, or community. Oh, I belong to such a varna, shudras, brahmanas. No, all this is because of the three modes of material nature. So one forgets the Supreme Personality Godhead who is beyond the three modes and do not understand that behind material nature is the Supreme Personality Godhead. Because Maya Tikshana Prakriti Suyate Sacharajara. Krishna energy. Krishna is controlling this energy, material nature. We are missing that. And how mode of goodness also deludes, it limits the understanding of the absolute to the impersonal Brahman conception, and in conditions, one takes conditions by happiness and knowledge. That is goodness. No, goodness binds us with happiness and knowledge. So who is actually liberated? Only one truly established in Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna consciousness is transformed into three modes. So liberation doesn't mean only after death. And you can. Is it only after death there is a real liberation? Is it only after death? Yeah. How else is liberation? Yes, Chitra Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, when we are in Krishna consciousness, everything, all the, like activities are centered Krishna, Mataji. And we are doing for the satisfaction of Krishna. That way we are liberated because we are not attached to the result, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Okay, that is one thing. Okay. Yeah. So great devotees are liberated from the three modes of material nature. And they are considered to be liberated in this very life. That means even though within the body, even though within the material world, they're still considered liberated because their consciousness is fixed on Krishna. Okay. So it is said, Yasya Harer Dasye Karmana Manasa Gira Nikhilesha Bhi Avasteshu Jivan Muktasya Uchyate. Yes, Yasya Deve Harer Dasye. In the sense, yeah, they, as Sharmila Mataji mentions, not in bodily concept. They are not in the bodily concept. And their Karmana Manasa Gira, their words, minds, deeds, everything is dedicated to Krishna. And they are considered to be liberated even in this material body. So how do we get free from the three modes, and how to understand Krishna is, even though material nature is the inferior energy of the Lord, it's ultimately by the supreme will of the Lord it's moving. So defined here as the divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the supreme will. It's difficult to overcome because of it being controlled by the supreme will. And conditioned souls are called Nitya Baddhas. We are Nitya Baddhas, and those who are liberated are Nitya Siddhas. Why we are Baddhatmas? Conditioned by the three modes. No one can trace out the history of being conditioned. It's like time immemorial. You can't really understand. And release from the bondage, or Prabhupada writes in the purport, another meaning of guna is also rope. It is understood through guna. Now, when you say guna is also mean rope, that means we have been tied up by the rope. It is understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the rope of illusion. A man who is already bound by hands and feet, and we push into your water. Can you detie yourself, or can you escape? No, somebody else should come and unbind you. And that person is God or a spiritual master. Right? Somebody who's liberated only can rescue you. A rescuer must be a liberated person. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, that spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. So Krishna orders the release out of his costless mercy to the surrendered soul. And out of the paternal affection of, for the living entity who is originally a beloved son of the Lord, Krishna allows us to be freed. That's why he sent Srila Prabhupada to us, all the Shiksha Gurus. Why? So that we should be liberated. Therefore, surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord only means to get free from the clutches of stringent material nature. So this is a very important Bhakti Shastri question, like an analogy of somebody getting tied up. Okay, like somebody is tied up, then that's called Nitya Baddhas. So they can't escape. So they only somebody who's liberated or free should come and help us. That is God or his representative spiritual master. Okay, then 7.14, it's a very important sloka, says Devi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratteya Mameva Ye Prabatyante Maya Etam Tarantite. The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can very easily cross beyond it. So Supreme Personality Godhead has innumerable energy, and they're all divine. And it is Mama Maya, it's Krishna's Maya, right? So the example given here is like, does anyone remember an example how Maya is Krishna's friend, and when you surrender to Krishna, Mame Veya Prapattante Maya Idam Tarantite, you can cross over Maya. What is the example? You remember? Yes? No idea? About Maya, like how Maya becomes your friend. Any example from the about Maya? Like, for example, you went to a house, okay, of your friend after a long some years gap. You went, and there's a new dog at their friend's house. So the dog doesn't know you are your master's friend, so it keeps barking at you. The moment the master comes out and talks to you or opens the gate for you, the dog identifies you as the master's friend and starts shaking its tail. No, then he won't bark at you. Instead, he'll be like silent. So similarly, Maya will keep barking at us. But then when he knows, or she knows that we have surrendered to Krishna, we are Krishna's devotees, then the Maya will keep quiet. So similarly, there's an example that is given about Maya. So we are under Krishna's divine energy. Krishna says, Mama Maya, it's his Maya. And how can we overcome that Maya is by surrendering to Krishna. Okay, so here a question can come about who's a Nitya Baddha. Okay, Nitya Baddha example is given here. And also how a man bound by hands and feet cannot be freed himself. This analogy can come in Bhakti Shastri question. Okay, so in 714, Krishna says to surrender unto Krishna or Vishnu only, and not unto any devatas. Because Mukti Pradadam Sarvesham Vishnu Revana Samshya. Nobody else can give you Mukti except Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes in the Perfect, although Brahma, Shiva are greatly elevated and almost at the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for each such incarnation of Rajaguna, passion, or Tamaguna, ignorance, to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. Doesn't mean Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are under the Rajaguna, Tamaguna. They are the in charge of the Rajaguna and Tamaguna. Okay, and they themselves cannot. Okay, can you give an example where Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva was in Maya? Any example?
Mataji,
Hmm.
can I answer? Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
One is in the case of Lord Shiva, he was bewildered by the beauty of Mohini.
Yes.
And in the case of Lord Brahma, he actually was bewildered by his own daughter. I don't remember her name.
The Saraswati.
Is it Saraswati? Some other name I read in.
Saraswati. Because Saraswati is considered his wife, and also because Brahma is the creator, it's also considered Saraswati as his daughter. And yes, Lord Brahma was bewildered by her, and Lord Shiva with the Mohini music. And also, Chitra Mataji says about Brahma Vimohan Leela. Suma Mataji also says that, yes. So it's a Brahma Vimohan Leela, also we know how Brahma got bewildered. And no, so yes, so these are the examples where and these are the examples where we can see Maya, even so they are also cannot help us from the release of Maya. Both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. Prabhupada quotes also, Tam eva viditva. The freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. So, Mukti Pradatam Sarvesham Vishnu Devana Samshan. There's no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asked immortality, even Brahma could not give it. So in the next 15 to 19, there's 15th sloka. It says about the 4 Dushkridinas who does not surrender to Krishna. Namam Dushkridinamoda Prabatyandanaradama Maya Apahruta Jnanam Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, that is Mudha, who are lowest among mankind, Naradhama, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, that is Maya Abhradajnana, and Asurin, who partake in the atheistic nature of demons. They do not surrender to Krishna. So that's the 7.15. And Prabhupada has given a big list of all this puppet, very nice puppet. You should read them and discuss, because so many examples also Prabhupada have put here. And the next sloka, he says about the Sukritis who surrenders. Chaturvita pachante maham jana sukriti nochana artho jitnyasur artarti jnani ja baradarshika, 4 kind of people who surrenders. And he says about, best among Bharata, 4 kind of pious men begin to render devotional service: distress, desire of wealth, inquisitive, and who's searching for knowledge of the absolute. Okay, so here the impious people never surrender to Krishna, the pious people do. So if surrendering to Krishna is the solution to cross all the entanglement of material laws, the 3 most, then why don't people surrender? Because of these 4 reasons. Their knowledge has been taken by Maya. Maya Abharata Jnanam. So practical application is one's ability to surrender to Krishna is based on his piety and knowledge. The more they know. Okay, so we have a quick 5 minutes breakout room. You should give the examples of the 4 types of Dushkridinas and 4 types of Sukridinas from different Shastras. Okay, some examples are already given here. Better if you say that, and also some other examples which you come to know from, even especially from Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, who are the examples of Mudhas, foolish people, lowest of mankind, Naradavas, Maya, Abhradajnanam, and Asuri. And also examples of Artho Artarti Jnani Jitnyasu. I think this is a Bhakti Shastri question about the 4 types of Sukritis and 4 types of Dushkridinas. So you should give example from the Shastras. Okay, just quick 5 minutes discussion, and then we can come back. Hi Krishna. So from room number 1, who's going to speak? Aarti Mataji, Biju Mataji, Smita Mataji, Sumana Mataji, and Sunita Mataji. Yes, examples.
Krishna Mataji. Sukritina examples, distressed comes Gajendra and Draupadi.
Yes.
Artharthi Dhruva and Jignasu Kofor Kumara. Jignasu
Yeah.
Shaunakadi Munis in prison. And 4 Kumaras and Shukdev Goswami, Maharaj Amrish, Parikshit Maharaj, they are all Gnani.
Okay.
And then Dushkritina, so Mudas, fruity workers, Mataji. And then swine and ass, examples.
Yes, ass.
And then Mudhas, Jagai Madai. Naradhama, Jagai Madai. And then Maya Pahrita Gnana, like the philosophers, poets, scientists who will be very knowledgeable. And like, in another example from Shastra is Prakashananda Saraswati, who was defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Very good.
And then Asuram Bhavamashita, demonic nature people like Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Shishupala, Hiranyaksha.
Okay. Good. Okay. Room number 2, Chinnaswamy Ganesh Prabhu, Ashray Mataji, Ganesh Prabhu, Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think most of the examples are same out there. And only for Maya Parta Gyanas, I think we added Shankaracharya also out there.
Very good. Yes.
And Mahatma Gandhi also.
Okay. So in some examples are already given. You can skip that. Whichever you have, you can say.
Sorry, Mataji. Lord Buddha also, no, Mataji?
Yes. Lord Buddha. Actually, he is the incarnation of the Lord himself, and he says that Lord doesn't exist, but believe. Yes. Room number 3, Mataji, Gurnath Prabhu, Jyoti Lakshmi Mataji, and Sharmila. Same examples. Anything to add? Is there anything to add? Room number 3. No. Room number 4. Akshay Prabhu, Reddy Prabhu, Madhu Mataji, and Madhuri Mataji.
Mataji, only few extra we could think of were Jignashu Parikshit Maharaj is one.
Yes.
Then in the case of Mudhas, Kumbhakarna, Putana, all these people who worked
Yes.
that way. And rest all same examples.
Okay. So the Dushkritas and Sudhiras. So Prabhupada says the Dushkritas, okay, even though they are Artha Jnani Jitya, so they are pious because they are approaching God. Dushkritas, yes, they never approached the Lord. And we saw the examples. And okay, so 715, the 4 types of Dushkritas, they pious who never surrender to Krishna. Okay, but then why intelligent, hardworking leaders also come into this Maya Apasita Jnanam, right? Because they pose themselves as scientists, philosophers, just for material gain, and they have no idea of God. They do not accept the plan or path of this great God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans, and the result of that plan is they complicate problems of earthly existence, and in their vain effort to solve them. So scientists, they become proud of their achievements and everything. So I was getting Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada says, yes, you can say that, oh, you created that, we discovered that, there's so many scientists they do that. So if I, and the body is, and you say the soul doesn't exist, and you think that the body is made up of the 3 elements, Kapha, Vayu, Pitta, and then still and everything. Now, if Prabhupada's like, if we give all these ingredients, some blood, stool, then urine, and bones, flesh, and all that, can you make somebody like an Einstein? No, you can't make. You tell you yourself as scientists and philosophers, you have so many jnanas, but then Maya, the Maya has captured the knowledge. No, that's why they are like that. And the material energy is very powerful. It resists the unauthorized plans of atheists and vast of planning conditions. Position of material energy is that it has no independent authority. The analogy is that it works as shadow, moves in accordance with the movement of object. Power of material energy to dilute jiva. Atheists, godless temperament cannot know how material energy works. nor can he know the plan of the Lord. All his plans are perfect, even if they are material, like Hiranyakashipu and Ravana. Right? Material, and actually Ravana, it seems he was very scholarly. But then what happened? Maya captured him. So that's Mudas. Now the first miscreants, the miscreants, Mudas, grossly foolish, hardworking like das, piece of burden. So meaning of Dushkita means the atheistic plan makers, intelligence and efforts are misguided. They attach to the fruits. They are fruity workers who want to enjoy the fruit of their labor by themselves, do not part with the supreme. So when I this I heard one example. So there was a person who was like taking lotteries, somewhere like that. So once they win like 5,000 or 10,000 rupees, they have so much faith that I'm going to win crores of rupees and lakhs of rupees. They keep taking these lotteries. Actually, it comes under one of the four regulative principles in gambling. It comes, you're not supposed to do it. So they take lotteries and they feel like, so once he took one lottery and it was like for about 1 crore or something. And he promised that 50 lakh he'll go give to God. Now, at that excitement, you give a lot of promises. Like politicians, there's a lot of promises. So he told like 50 lakhs for the Lord and 50 for him. So he did that promise. And fortunately, unfortunately, he won the lottery. And he got that 1 crore. No, he didn't get 1 crore, but he won the second prize. The second prize was for 50 lakhs. So he took that 50 lakhs and his wife was like, now you have to give 25 lakhs to the Lord. Now you keep 25, you have to give 25 to the Lord. No, that was your deal, 50-50. Then he's like, no, already Lord have taken 50 and given me the rest of the 50. No, then why should I give the 50? He understood me, or he got 50 lakhs and he's like, God have already taken 50. The 50 is with me. So I can't give even 1 rupee to the Lord. So this is how they just want to enjoy everything. They don't even want to part even a penny to the Lord. They don't know that the 10 rupees you give to Krishna, you get back in 10,000. I mean, how much money you give Krishna reciprocates more than that. But he don't know that, and this is what happened. So I was like, how crooked minded they are, how they are thinking that about they should know everything is God's. Muda, Manchikesi karmis who worship the demigods. Yeah, they are called Alpa Medarsas. Still, they are Buddhas only because they are asking for temporary results. No, demigod worshippers are asking for temporary things which will be destroyed in this world. So yes, they are not intelligent enough, but those who worship Krishna is intelligent because they know the bed, what is the root of the tree. And just like it as, why it's Buddhas compared to the ass? Because the grass is available everywhere. And what is an ass do? He works for the washerman, and the washerman puts lot of bundles of cloths on top of the ass and then make him walk. And even coming back also he does the same thing. So much hard work for just grass, and the grass is sometimes tied onto the stick in front of the ass, and he thinks that I'll get it. And he works so hard for his master, but does not know for whom he works so hard. Prabhupada says so much hard work just for food chapatis. That's what we are doing. So much loitering, forgetting our spiritual life. No, when we go for a job, we should have some limitation, like maximum 8 hours of job, not 10 hours, but not more than that. 24 hours of job, karma. Where is your time to chant and do devotional services? No, so they do not know karma is meant for yajna, and for them, destructible material gains are lives all in all. And although they enjoy a very small fraction of the fruit of their labor, they can't do so much hard work, little only will they enjoy. And Buddhas work hard but sleepless nights. They have no time for food, suffers from ulcers and indigestion, etc. Similarly, you take any multi-millionaires, most of them might have insomnia or sleepless nights. They are taking sleeping pills, most of them. Why? Because so much of anxiety, so much of material anxiety. I want that, I want this, so much of anxiety. But devotees are so around sleeping. Similarly, and as but when you elevate them, when you are advancing in devotional service, it is like you have sleepless nights because you have so much service to do. And as you satisfy filling your stomach by your love class, sleeping for while under the fear of being beaten, and satisfying his excess appetite at the risk of being kicked by the opposite party. One Mataji was saying she has seen a male ass actually kicking from behind, kick the female ass, kick the male ass, and no time for hear about the immortality of the soul. They don't have time for spiritual advancement. And that's about Mudas. Okay, as an example. Yeah, they want the kingdom and the property of God, yes, but not God. So they want to enjoy everything, all the opulence, but they don't want. And Naradhamas are lowest of mankind. Different categories of human species like uncivilized, civilized, and all. Uncivilized means there are numerous forms of human life. Civilized are those who have a regulated principle, social, political, and religious life. And Naradhamas are socially and politically developed, but no religious principles at all. So, purpose of all the religious principles know the Supreme Lord and our relation with that. Because Krishna says, Mattam Paradaram Nani at 7.7, there's no authority or superior to him or equal to him. So, civilized form of life is meant to revive our lost consciousness and high channel relationship with the Lord. And Naradamas are whoever loses a chance of human life to revive their lost relationship falls into this category. An example of losing chances, baby mother's who promises to worship the Lord after taking birth, but he forgets it. So yes, the example Prabhupada mentions is about Jagai Madai, lowest of mankind, because they were doing so many simple activities. The duty of the guardian of the child to revive the dormant consciousness in them, and it's done by the Varnashram Siddha and the 10 samskaras, which are meant for purification and elevation. There's overnight samskaras, so many samskaras that we do, and 99.9% of population is Naradamas because they lack the Varnashram system and purifying samskaras. So we all of us are Naradamas. He said, here you can see all their education is made null and void, and hope for Naradamas is mercy of the devotees like Jagai Mother delivered by Nityananda. So there Prabhupada mentioned, I think said that Nityananda Prabhu delivered one Jagai Mother. Srila Prabhupada delivered thousands of Jagai Mothers. We all were Jagai Mothers. And that's what Kali Yuga is. Kali Yuga is full of such Jagai Mothers. Jagai Mother indicates they're Naradamas since they don't have any religious principles. Vision of a true devotee said, this is all caste species on the same platform, Pandita Samadarshana, and recommendation of Lord Chaitanya for Naradamas, they can also be delivered by submissive hearing process. And unfortunate conditions of Naradamas, they actually neglect to hear about the Lord, they refuse the oral reception of message of Godhead. Thus, Naradamas neglect the primary duty of humanity. They don't hear about the Lord. So Maya Pradajnana means which knowledge has been stolen by illusion, energy, or Maya. The range of the knowledge is only devoted to material world. They are mostly very learned, like philosophers, literary poets, but they are misguided. They disobey the Supreme Lord. They are so intelligent, but when they are intelligent, what they think, there's no God. There's no God. That's what they. That's the Maya has taken their knowledge. Many mundane scholars of Bhagavad Gita also fall into this category because they consider the Lord to be an ordinary human being, because they do not know the blessed form of the human life that is designed after the eternal transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. So Maya, then Asura Bhava Mashura, the envious towards the God, demonic mentality. Asura. The Supreme Lord, they say that the Supreme Lord can never descend to the material world, but they are unable to give tangible reasons why the Lord cannot. Now, Prabhupada mentions like you as a conditioned soul can come to the material world. The Lord who created the material world can't come to the material world. Prabhupada says they think God as man and they consider man as God. When Krishna or Rama comes in a human form, Namam Dushkara Muda Prabhatyande Naradama. So, Naham Prakasha Sarvasi Yogamaya Samahana. So for them, Krishna is not revealing. So they think, oh, Krishna is just a human being, or Lord Ram is just a human being. So God they're considering as man, and some man do some magic, taking ash from the air and all. They think that man is God. So Prabhupada, this is the problem with us. So he is subordinate to impersonal features and present illicit incarnation from factory of their brain. This is all are the asuras. So Yavanacharya commentary on the knowing this personality what it is, he says he is unknowable to persons involved with atheistic principles. Various proofs is that Krishna, his uncommon qualities and features and activities is not revealing to everyone. Shastras also says confirmed by all Vedic literatures in the quality of goodness. Shastra has to confirm who God is, and sadhu, acknowledged by famous authorities. So Krishna has to confirm, the Lord himself has to confirm in the Shastra. Bhagavad Gita he confirms, and Shastra and sadhu. Guru, sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, so these are the three forms. Now, what are the pious people who surrender? The four kind of pious who surrender to Krishna. This is a very important Shastri question, closed book. Sukridinas are pious people, adherent to regulated principles of scriptures. They follow the moral and social laws, more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. So, Artho, Artharthi, Jnani, Yasti. Put in the chat who is the best among these four in the chat. Artha is distressed, Artharthi is a well seeker, just inquisitive, Jnani, one to desire knowledge. Are they pure devotees? No. Why? Because they have some aspiration. Pure devotees means what? Anya Bilash Karchunya, Jnana Karmananabhidam, Anipurine Krishna, Shina Mukti Uttama, Anya Abhilasha Shuna. They should not have any desire. But Artha, because their distress have to be decreased, Artharthi, they want wealth, they want to know about the Lord. These are all having some material motive. But then it's not pure devotion, okay, devotional service. They are in their favor of the without desire, that is pure devotional service. Yeah, Jnani is the best. Not Jnani. Okay, why? Because Jnani doesn't want anything from the Lord, and there is a chance for them to become pure devotees. So, destiny of the Sukritis is that they follow the devotional services for 4 reasons: first, distressed, well seeker, investigative, and desiring for knowledge. In due course, they associate with pure devotees and get purified. They achieve pure devotional service. At what stage do they become pure? When they are free from material desires. But they fully understand that material remuneration have nothing to do with spiritual program. There was a hope for them devotional service is difficult because their lives is selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But is there any hope? Yes. If by chance they come to contact with a pure devotee, they can become pure devotees. So Krishna himself says Jnani is the best, wise. Okay, Nitya, always engaged. That is in 7:17. Krishna says that the Jnani, that is the next Shloka. Krishna says that the Jnani is the best. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyohi Jnanino Atyartam Aham Saja Mama Priya. Of those ways, the one who is in full knowledge, Jnani, and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. So Jnani or the wise is the best. Why? Because while the first 3 categories of Sukritis serve Krishna with some motive, and with Krishna fulfill their desire, their distress have to be get ridden, then they want wealth, they want to know about the Lord. But a Jnani serves Krishna wanting to know about him without material desire. Jnanus, they know about the Lord and that's they don't want anything else. But Jnanis, they already know, they have it knowledge, like the 4 Kumaras, they all already in knowledge. But then they don't have any material desire. So Jnani is the best. So gradual progression in realization of Jnani rise by searching after knowledge, one realizes itself is different from material body. And then further advances, we come to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. Then fully verified, he realizes the constitutional position, the internal servant of God. He who is situated in pure knowledge of transcendence of the Supreme Personality God is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. Although Krishna said Jnani is dear to him, Krishna loves all the 4 kinds of devotees. After all, they approach Krishna, although they have material desires. So first, like at least they approach Krishna. No? So they are Sukritis. At least they are going to the Lord and asking for the daily bread. They are not like the Dushkritas. So they are Sukritis. So because of Sukriti, they have come to the Lord. So we'll stop there, 7:17. And what is that called when we get some mercy from the Lord? I mean, we are advancing in devotional service because of what? Because of what do we advance in devotional service?
Ajnata Sukruti Mataji.
Ajnata Sukruti. Can you give an example? Like, what is it?
Somehow we have ate the prasadam of the Lord. Somehow somebody gave like that. So that will give us the Ajnata Sukruti Mataji in any lifetimes. Like how example of Narada. He ate the remnants of the food.
So son of the maid servant, and then finally he ate some prasada, the reverence, and also he served the Bhakti Vedantas in the Chaturmasya, the 4 months. Yes, and then he got the form of Narada. Good. Okay, so that's Ajnata Sukruti. So because of Ajnata Sukruti, we are advancing, and that means we have approached the Lord and we have done some Sukrutis, which is helping us. Okay. Okay, any other discussion? So that's about, I think, is this Shloka to memorize for memorization, Ganesh? It looks very important.
Yes, Mataji. 3 slokas in the 7th, 7.19, then 7.5, 7.14, and 7.19. 3 slokas
So
to be memorized.
1.5 and 1.6 is not there.
No, it's not there. It is 7.5, 7.14, and 7.19.
Yeah, actually 1.5 and 1.6 are also kind of important.
Okay.
For the preaching aspect, not for Bhakti Shastri might be. But it's okay. Like now you study on the Bhakti Shastri point of view. But yes, it's important. We should know what are the 4 kinds of surrenders, who doesn't surrender. And we also come in some category. No? Okay, so how many of you will be very sincere? You can raise digital hand. How many of you came to Krishna consciousness because of distress? When I have to raise my hand. How many of you came because of distress? Some kind of distress. So most of us are having this stress thing. Then what happens? Normally, those who came with us, once their distress is over, they go back. Now they go back to their normal life. Oh, my distress is over. Krishna took care of the distress. So Artha, yeah, all were Artha. And Artharthi must be very less people want money. Okay, somewhere like that they wanted money, and but once they get the money, they forget Krishna. And Jityasu to know about the Krishna, they just come to get some points. Once in my level 1 class, I had a person from another religion. So I was shocked to see the name especially. But then I thought it might be creating some problem in the class, but very patiently listened to the whole Bhagavad Gita just to get some information. So that when you go to the other language, they might criticize or in a positive way, I don't know. Some because this is not a religious book. This is not religious book. So it's like a life man, can be used by anybody. So that was nice. Very patiently listening 15 days. But then got the information and then didn't continue the course or something. But just listen. Once they get the jnanis, they are in knowledge, they know who God is, and then they stay and they don't want any other material desires. And the more chance of becoming pure devotees, they have more chance of becoming pure devotees. But even though they have come as Artha, Jnani, Jnana, still, if you're staying in Krishna consciousness, that's a great thing. Like Dhruv Maharaj, went for money, but then became a pure devotee. So hope one day we all can become pure devotees. Not in this life, some other life. Now because 19 sloka. Now we have 2 more slokas and I'm done with this chapter. No, that's the last sloka. We have more. I thought the next week we can finish that. Because this week I had a meeting. That's why it was 7:30. Yeah, we can finish 10 slokas. Okay. So any other discussion? It's fine. So when people go and say, Krishna, give me my daily bread, is it right or wrong? That type of question. Now you heard there's such prayers they pray. Give us a daily bread. They go to the place of worship and they pray. Is it right or wrong?
Wrong, Mataji.
Why?
We need not ask Mataji. Whatever we need at right time, he will provide.
Krishna provides. So it's wrong. But at least they're going to that place of worship and asking, They are so pleased, right? What do you think?
Krishna, Prabhupada has written the Papatna Mataji. At least, even if they want, they are coming to me, that is okay for me. They are my children, I love them, let them come.
Yes, at least they are going to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, at least they are going, no? So as far as they're going to Krishna, yeah, it's good. They are not going to any other demigods. So that one, in that way, Prabhupada says, yes, as Mataji said, we don't have to ask anything from Krishna. He knows. Animals doesn't go and ask. Prabhupada, let's say, these monkeys in Vrindavan, how many of you went to Vrindavan to take your specs and not take that? Nobody feeds a monkey. In ISKCON Vrindavan temple, it's written, if you feed a monkey, this 500 rupees fine. So initially, first time when I went to Vrindavan, I had a big packet of biscuits and I was like, oh, the monkeys are so innocent, let me feed it.
Mataji, you are muted.
Your
Mataji.
audio, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. We are unable to hear you. You are muted.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
You're muted.
Mataji. Unable to
Hare
hear.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I was muted.
Yeah.
So it's written the monkeys should not be fed. But who's feeding them? Prabhupada's like, who's maintaining so many monkeys in Vrindavan? Krishna, no? So they cannot go and ask him. But they go and ask, still they are going to Krishna. It's like you come and ask, but you ask me, not anybody. I will fulfill. But that's not pure devotion. So, okay. Yes, Mama.
Mataji, but I have a doubt, Mataji. For the necessities, we need not ask Lord because we have been eating since our childhood and we have been given everything that we all needed. But when we came to Krishna consciousness, the power of prayer is different, Mataji. Only when we have to progress in devotion service, we have to intensely pray. Only then little mercy is given, Mataji. Only when, so that this is what I have observed in my life.
Here we are. Show how sensitive. The prayer should be, please engage me in your lotus feet, or please give me pure devotion. Spiritual prayers are good. Let me have nice quality japa. Let me, all that is spiritual. Let me advance, and that is spiritual. Because when you say offering prayers is also important. When you say the Navavida Bhakti, Archana Vandanam. So yes, prayers also should be offered. But how the devotees offering prayer is different. How Srila Prabhupada used to pray and how we praying is different. So when you ask so as we said, Mataji, the prayers are, but the prayers should be in such a way it is pure. It should not have any material attention. But I know some devotees don't even ask anything from Krishna. Even spiritual things they don't ask. Krishna takes care.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, there's no doubt. Can I ask one question,
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna.
Mataji, if we come to Bangalore on 22nd, 23rd April, is it possible to get the Subodhini book there, Mataji? Is it available there?
It's not available here. You need to take it from the Amazon. You're not able to buy it from Amazon?
Yes, Mataji. We all want to buy. We were discussing amongst ourselves how to buy.
Sir, it's not available.
I bought it, Mataji. It's from Amazon. I bought it.
Yeah. Even if you
Mataji, can you share? Very good.
If you go to the office, that might be they can do online ordering for you. Okay. Let's. Ganesh and Prabhu, you have a doubt?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, the previous one which you were telling, no, and see, it's a gradual process, no, Mataji. People come for, because this is a material world, and
Yeah.
people have the habit of praying for something. No, they are. It's always business. No, they go to, because they even I had that kind of an understanding before coming into Krishna consciousness. No, and I remember studying no Bhajate and that kind of. I thought Krishna is also the same of like all the other gods. No, you go to God and ask whatever you want to. That is how we have been educated also. Yes. So it's a gradual process. Now we come in. I too came in as a distressed person only because Corona time, everything was when slowly somehow it's all mercy of Guru and Gauranga only. If I'm saying sitting here right now and listening and taking in all the thing, and even I used to think I don't know how much I am qualified for all these things now, but still it's only the mercy of
soul have done so much as another 60 days in previous janmas. That's why that here all of us so much.
So it's a process, no matter. It's a gradual process, no, step by step. It is an elevation, like from distress to then the next level, and ultimately the seeking of the pure knowledge. And this is what is the understanding comes from. To get out of the bodily conception, no, it never happens. No, all the isms will have to go away from us. Then so many things. No, as
slowly, Krishna will purify us. It will take a lot of time. Because we get detached. Attachment is not possible to be attached to Krishna, but then to come, we need a lot of education, a lot of reading of Srila Prabhupada. Some devotee was, what is the proof you have actually read Prabhupada? You would be detached from material. Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Living beings are superior energy and material nature is inferior energy. But in Shloka 7.14, Daivi Hesha Gunamai. So this divine energy of mind, Krishna says. So why like that, Mataji? So material nature is inferior.
Yes.
But here, Daivi Hesha Gunamai, he says.
Yeah, it's divine only. See, material nature, even though it's inferior energy, it is said, divine, transcendental. Nature is, even though it is in the material world, it is the three gunas, it's created by the Lord. So anything that is created of the Lord or coming under the supervision of the Lord is it's transcendental only. Because Mahamaya itself acts as Mahamaya. only. Yogamaya is only acting as Mahamaya, which is transcendental, even though for us it's material, but the three modes are also under the influence of God. So
But when we segregate, we say superior energy and inferior energy.
Yes, in that way. But there is another classification, no? Internal and external energy. So in that way, when it is external, we are marginal. So yes, when you say living entity and the material entity is superior.
Okay. Thank you, Antish.
Hi, Kisha. I need to go for another class. We'll end here. Prabhupada ki jai.